So I'll call this meeting to order now that we're mostly here. First thing, I'll just make a motion to approve our minutes from last time. Do I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, I anticipate, I think be pretty smooth, discussion, not too long today for everything we have on the agenda. But we'll start with the Arbor Day updates, and let whoever wants to.
So, there's not much to do as of right now. We have the order in. We're hoping the order is delivered in time. And we can use the greenhouse like we did last year to repot the seedlings and we have the poster that the kids made 2 years ago. We'll use that again.
Perfect.
I guess my question for you, Abby, is do we have an idea of number for how many are coming from Monument Mountain? How many, I guess, people and or tree seedlings?
The kids, seedlings, definitely not sure about that. For kids, she said she'd only be bringing no more than a few.
Okay.
But I will let me write this down. We'll reach out to her and ask her, because I think the last time I checked in with the seedlings was November or so.
Mhm.
So I'm interested in seeing how many there are now.
Okay. And they will, you made up that beautiful pamphlet last time. We can still use that. I mean, that was nice on how to plant a tree.
We can use that. Me and April have talked about seeing if any of the students want to take that on. So obviously we have that as an option. But she was interested in using that as almost like a opportunity for a grade or extra credit or something for one of the kids. So we'll see what she wants to do about that.
Okay.
Great.
And I'll be there. The two other people from Riggs might be there. They weren't sure. They will probably be there, but they weren't sure. Eric, will you be there?
Yeah, I hate to admit this, but what day is Arbor Day?
It's the 26th,
April.
Oh.
April,
Yeah.
And what are you doing it from when to when?
noon to 3.
Yeah, I'll probably, because you're gonna have everybody there at noon and then they'll leave. So I'll come around one-ish.
Okay, great. And I'll see if Carol will put it in the Stockbridge.
Stockbridge updates.
Not yet, it's too early.
Yeah.
But so it feels like we know what we're doing. We did it before. It seemed pretty smooth. So I think as long as the trees get here in time,
All the trees are here.
minor detail,
Great.
I think we're good.
Awesome. All right. Not hearing anything else for that right now. And we'll have, yeah, obviously we'll do a final check-in in April just to make sure before. Okay, farmers market updates. Checked in with Michael. He just needs to pull the information together, how much time and what Stuart has spent with his time through last fiscal year. But he had a sense that it was well within what we had talked about and what the selectmen had budgeted for it. Other than that, I talked to Stuart. Right now, we're holding pretty steady with the vendors we talked about last time. A lot of them there's still some that are kind of hedging. They're not really fully committed just because they're waiting to see who else is going to be there. So right now we've maintained where we're at with vendors. As for SNAP,
We didn't lose any.
we haven't lost anyone yet. So, but they're obviously like having more questions still as, you know, is there going to be bread? Is there going to be cheese? Is there going to be meat? And so, which I think Stuart's done a really good job of having a well-rounded veggie, meat, bread, a little bit of textiles, wool. So it's kind of maintaining right now, but still knocking on wood to make sure nothing comes up. Other than that, he's applying for the SNAP benefits and looking to get some information out there in Berkshire Grown in the publication, which I think he said he has to do it by March 8th. So he's just looking to say that we're having a farmer's
So
market.
put it in Berkshire Grove.
Yeah, let Berkshire Grown know. So other than that, not much else has developed.
So
Yeah.
when it's up and running, will he be there? Who will be?
That's the plan as of right now. That's originally why he was hired. Last fiscal season, he was hired. We couldn't get it up and running. He pivoted really well to doing the organizing for the Hillcrest community with the distribution of the Berkshire Bounty, and looked into that. So theoretically, he would be there this summer if we have it going.
Great.
Any other questions?
No, just a comment.
Yeah.
We had our BAV Board of Directors meeting today, and I asked Sienna, who runs the Market Match,
Mhm.
and she said she thought Stuart has it together, which was good to hear.
Awesome.
What's a market match?
Well, if you're going to take SNAP, we've raised the money to match it up to like $30. So you
Okay.
buy $30. If we participate in the market match, BAV puts up another $30.
Okay, nice.
And on top of that too, I know he was looking at to accept SNAP. There is a small grant through one of the processors where you can get a free reader, card reader, and software to help process SNAP cards. So he is looking into that. And the other thing he's looking into is just promotion. So that goes back to the Berkshire Grown. And he was going to talk to Michael about when the time comes, how it would be possible to send out email blast saying that it's happening, what's happening, really, to the Stockbridge community. But he's going to talk to Michael and figure out what he
So,
can and can't do.
yeah, and I don't know what he can and can't do either. A couple people have asked me to be on a mailing list.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he could just have a sign up sheet at the,
Potentially, yeah. I don't know what the rules are,
Yeah.
but he's looking into that. And I'm glad to hear from other people because everything I've seen so far, communication wise from Stuart has been on par and better. So it's good. I'm really glad he's really working out. Now we just need some farmers to follow through. All right. Not hearing anything else. Town composting. I left this on as a discussion just to hear from anyone if anything else has really come up about it. But I haven't had any specific updates with anyone yet.
I don't.
Okay, all right. Anything from you, Abby?
The only thing is, last time I talked to Mark was before the last meeting. He said he was still figuring stuff out, but he said that it could be a good idea for us to start looking at the composting materials. And I offered that we could put together a handout for the transfer station. And those materials were from Susan. So I guess I've just been thinking about that is the only update.
And so in this email, I took from your email from Susan, I just made it a Word document. with the information that she had provided. So that's the document you see in the email. And I think to that point, and I probably shouldn't put a reminder in the email about this. We can go through this and pick out those materials like you were talking about, Abby, and not reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the two that I was really drawn to were the two down at the bottom, highlighted. And one's a sign, and one it looks like they moved into a flyer handout format. I think it's very clear. I wonder if it would be a more helpful to possibly make it a bit more concise for people. Maybe the font could be a little bit bigger, so when you're actually holding the piece of paper, it might be easier to read. I guess that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I do like that it is just it's an 8x11 sheet. It's not necessarily, it doesn't require us to fold it, which is nice. It's something that I feel like you could have out at the transfer station with a rock on it, and people can take without us having to do a lot of folding or special heavy cardstock.
I think he also does he have any of those correct me if I'm wrong, did he have those container things that were on a wall that you could just put
I think
handouts, or did I make that up?
no, I think you're right. I think he said that he had some somewhere that he could put up.
What's Mark's last name?
Buffoni. No, I think you pulled out, and I was wondering, I saw that those were highlighted, and now it makes sense why you highlight them, because they are very concise.
That was Susan, she's pretty good.
Because the only other one I saw was the home composting material, which
Yeah.
obviously doesn't apply to composting at the transfer station, but
Still good information.
it's still good information to maybe have as a
Get it out.
accompaniment to the transfer station. The other
agree.
note I'll make, not, now it's all coming back to me. Because I also wanted to bring up that we have had a sign up sheet at the transfer station. It's obviously been through some wind and rain. But this is 40 people have signed this that saying they are interested. I was there the other day and there's almost another full sheet.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
Wow.
upwards of 50 people who said they were interested in composting in the town. So that's, I think, a pretty good sign of what
Excellent.
and this is also the time of year where there is the lowest population. So, and that, next time I'm there, I'll grab the sheet and add it to our total. But I think this is good. If no one else had any other items they had pulled out from Susan's information, that was the only one I thought would be also good to print out, is the home composting material.
Did you say to print out the home composting or point out?
I think I pointed out two printed out. I think that the ones you had highlighted plus that one, I think would be the best use of our time to have at the station when it's actually when we're actually composting.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I wonder, I can try to find time from now until our next meeting if or if it would be okay if I could try to take this, but then almost remake it into our own version. I don't know if we necessarily want the Franklin County Solid Waste District at the bottom there.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
I think we might want to make the font a little bigger. The only thing that's really, would probably try to change about it, if anything.
Yeah, if you want to try your hand at it and just, yeah, if you need to or would like to put like the Stockbridge uh, header or something on it, maybe reach out to Michael
Okay.
and
Yeah,
see,
that's an
yeah,
issue.
yeah, see what he says about it, and redoing the information down low. Honestly, you could recreate this with all the information on it in your own format if you really want to go for it. I
Mhm.
got no problem with that. But I think the information on there, as long as it's the same information,
Yep. Perfect.
great. And same with the working that into a sign and a sheet. So there'd be a sign and a sheet to go with it.
I'm wondering, I just remember the last two times I went to the transfer station, Mark was talking about how he has people at a prison make the signs for him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I think we mentioned the sign, and then I can't remember if he said something about like, don't worry about it, because um, so I wonder if for now, maybe I can just do the flyer, and I'd like to reach out to Mark again to see if he has any more updates for us,
Yeah.
and I'll ask him about the sign.
Yeah, you can ask him about it. I think if you, he's probably going to need the material to put on the sign. So if you have that all set, then we could hand it off to him for when the time's right. So he can make the signs. If not, we could probably get a sign done up somewhere locally if it's not the same type of sign he's thinking. I think he's thinking more of the metal fabrication, which I don't know if we need to go that route, but
Just, yeah.
we'll find out what he says or what
He may want all of his signs over there to match.
That's
Maybe.
true.
I don't know.
That's fair.
I'll have to ask.
Yeah. Great. All right. Anything else? Composting? All right. Not hearing anything. Move on to the MVP tree application.
Okay, I actually thought Patrick would be.
Would be here. Gotcha.
But I can tell you what I know.
Yeah.
He and I had a Zoom meeting with, I'll get her name right for the minutes. But it was Emma. The last name started with S. She's the new MVP coordinator.
Mhm.
And we talked about what we were thinking of doing, which Patrick had presented at the last meeting.
Mhm.
And she was enthusiastic. She thought it could likely or possibly meet their criteria.
Mhm.
He was reaching out to Lee and Lennox.
Mhm.
I reached out to Great Barrington and Sheffield.
Mhm.
Renee Wood from Sheffield was initially very enthusiastic in terms of joining us because MVP likes more than one
Yeah.
community if possible. She brought it to the select board in Sheffield, and by her report, they said they just had so much going on, they couldn't take this on.
Gotcha.
And Great Barrington Concom, I think it's the same situation. So it may be just Stockbridge with Patrick's original plan.
Mhm.
My thought was to add plantings along waterways if possible, because there's a
Mhm.
need there, and or plantings in either pine woods or it's up the hill. The housing up the hill, just because it's MVP.
Oh, Hillcrest.
No, by Eden Hill, the housing complex.
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank name. Anyway, I thought possibly some plantings there as an MVP component. But I asked her that specifically and, what we needed to include in terms of priority populations. And she thought tree plantings served everyone. So we didn't necessarily have to single it out, but we
Yes.
might do that. There's a training Wednesday online for the new application, so I'll do that.
Okay.
And I think Patrick's doing that too, and we'll try to, I'm guessing it will be just Stockbridge, but we'll try to put it together for Stockbridge.
Okay.
Okay, and I was hopefully clear with Patrick that I'm not the lead on this, but we'll see where it goes.
And because he said the CPC, that's the one that
Didn't meet the
didn't meet the
criteria.
criteria. Okay.
But she thought it would meet MVP.
Okay. Like that. And is it in the same realm of what he was thinking about with this CPC, same realm of tree planting and
Yes.
everything budget?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I think the numbers he had wouldn't change.
Similar.
Doesn't matter where the application goes. I
gotcha.
think the information would be the same.
Oh, and you mean Heaton Court?
Even court.
That's it, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. That sounds great to me. Anything else, any other thoughts around the grant?
Nope.
Not hearing any, all right. All right, so we'll just keep me posted, and if we need to put it on next meeting, let me know if something develops. All right, and then finally, realtors, letting realtors know that Stockbridge is a right to farm town or community. Eric sent me an example of it from one listing that had the byline where they say, "Is it a right to farm community?" It just said no. So I thank you for bringing this to our attention. So I'll let you talk about what you were thinking.
Well, somehow we have to let the realtor community know that for at least the last 2 years, we've been a right to farm community.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the best way to do that?
Right.
So I thought and I don't know what the person's called, but I thought there was like someone that gets elected each year to oversee, like out of all the realtors, there's someone each year that coordinates or oversees or manages that kind of information. Possibly if you call one of the realtors, they may be one of the bigger ones, they may be able to tell you if that's correct and if there is a point person that you could give the information to.
Yeah, because the website, I did just a quick preliminary Google search because I was like, how does everyone get the information
Yeah.
in the realtor community? And I stumbled upon the Berkshire Realtors website, which seems to be an industry kind of where you can go for certain information. And it seems to be being updated regularly with events, which they have March 7th, March 11th. So it seems like it is an active forum. And the page I found, they did have a listing of all the right to farm communities, and we're not on it.
Was there contact information on the website?
There is, so in that webpage that I sent in the email, if you click on it, it'll bring you to the right to farm communities part of the website. And one of the links says, please report other right to farm communities if you know of them. So if you click that, it opens up an email that you could send an email to.
And what,
Who's the right person to do that?
Well, I think any one of us could just inform them that it is a right to farm. The problem is every time I click on it, it wants to open up, it goes straight to an email
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I use Gmail. And I can't see who the email is going to. So,
That's how a lot of realtors are set up.
yeah. So I think this would be one place. I mean, you could also go, if I'm clicking on the professional staff, from the website, and the CEO, is someone by the name of Sandra, Carroll. And it goes through the whole staff. There's 3 people. So I think also the possibility of, just emailing one of the staff members, and seeing who they direct you to. And I think to your point, Eric, I think, this was the one place I thought might be centralized for people to get the information. But I have a feeling it's going to take a while to get disseminated if people aren't actively looking, the realtors aren't looking. So it, we'll see if this action, I have a feeling we should do this action first and then see when it starts changing. Like in the listings you see. And if someone has a listing that says no, then we maybe call or we let that realtor know. Because I don't know, how much time we want to go chasing around
Or you can also try my suggestion. I know when I moved, my realtor had been the overseer, and he had a conversation with another realtor about not running for it again or not being elected. There is some kind of point person that notifies all the realtors. So one of the larger realtors may be able to tell you who that is.
So I think both tax. Eric, would you be willing to track this down?
Sure.
If you just, well, we'll start with this website and maybe you can ask them, maybe they would know.
Well, if there's an email to inform people, we start there, I guess.
Yeah. And you can also, if you want a blind copy or CC me on it, so that we both know who's getting reached out to. Because this led me to another thought about what other communities hand out when someone buys a home. I feel like I've heard of other people actually passing out, like when you buy a home, part of what you're not signing into, but you get notified that you're in a right to farm community.
Yeah, but that's part of the state law and the right to farm is they know before they buy.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Right.
After you've bought it,
yeah.
okay, I'll do that.
All right, and then you could just let us. I'll if we need to, we'll put it on the agenda next time if something comes of it, an update if you get a good feedback.
Well, I'm probably going to use that email, and my neighbor and we're good friends, and I told him about it. So I may just call his realtor and point it out so it gets changed, as well as getting us listed.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, no problem.
Awesome. Thank you for seeing that.
Surprised me.
All right. All right, that's all we had for tonight. Pretty straightforward. Our next meeting will theoretically be, well, I'll put it out there. It's the first Monday is April Fool's Day. It is April 1st. That Sunday's Easter. Okay, Good Friday, okay. Okay,
I'm okay with it.
yeah, is everyone okay with that?
Yeah,
Fine with
Okay.
me.
April 1st, we'll check in about Arbor Day. Hopefully, some people will respond to Eric, about the Right to Farm community. Is there anything else we're forgetting before I have you all here before our next meeting that we need to keep an eye on?
I will invite April from the greenhouse
Okay,
to our next meeting so we can have a small check-in with her before we actually get to Arbor Day. Hopefully she can make it, so I'm drafting an email now, so.
That's great.
awesome.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, and please keep doing what you're doing. If you see something like Eric or you're talking about the MVP with Patrick, just shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll put it on the
I would
agenda.
just say, keep the MVP on.
Perfect.
It's due in May, so we'll probably have something. to say
Okay.
in April.
Okay. That being said, I'll make a motion to end the meeting. Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, thank you very much.